This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the afternoon show presented by ESEN. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez and Jay McLovin. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, it was going good up until last night when and we're gonna talk about this, but I'm just saying for me personally, after Jordan jacked up his ankle coming into home plate, I'm like, oh man, that is not what I need going into postseason, because I guarantee you, I know you guys saw that injury. It did not look good, and I did not see that man coming back at all this season. I think we're not going to see Jordan until next year. So it's been kind of sad, Gonzo.
Well, guys, let's jump into some Monday Night Football. Had two games. One was pretty good. The other one wasn't real great. Tampa Bay coming back and winning 20-19. And it's kind of a weird score because, I mean, Tampa Bay barely won the game there at the end. But, man, if you look at the time of possession and the total yards and everything, they kind of dominated the game. I mean, they had 25 first downs compared to 12 first downs for Houston. Houston only had 266 total yards. 84 of them was rushing. Well, Tampa Bay had 360 total yards, 169 of it rushing. So, and they had the ball 37 minutes. That means Houston only had the ball about 22 minutes, almost 23 minutes. So Tampa Bay really controlled that game. But somehow Houston stayed in it and looked like they was going to win it. And, of course, the Baker Mayfield, man, that dude's made of, I'll tell you what, man, steel or something. That dude took some hard shots to his legs, and how he's still walking, I sure don't understand. His knees took a pounding. But Chris, what do you think of the first game, the Tampa Bay Houston game?
It shouldn't even been as close as it was. If Tampa missed a couple field goals that hurt them, then I don't know what the punter was doing, taking his sweet time trying to punt the ball and got it blocked, and then Houston ended up getting that touchdown late to give them the lead. But even when Houston got that touchdown, I felt like Tampa was going to come. Baker Mayfield was going to drive down and win that game. That's just what Baker Mayfield has been doing since he's been in Tampa. Since he's been in Tampa, he leads the league in touchdown passes and also leads the league in touchdown passes in the fourth quarter since he's been in Tampa Bay. So I had a feeling that there was a good chance he was going to get him down the field. He made a hell of a play on that 4th and 10 on that run, and that was one of the big hits you were talking about. He took another big hit to his knee where he went flying in the air. But hell, he ran for 25, 30 yards on that 4th and 10 on that last drive to keep that drive going. But no, Houston has to figure their offense out. Houston's offense looks terrible right now. They have no rhythm at all. Defense kept them in the game, but yeah, Houston has to figure out the offensive side of the ball, or it could be a long year for them.
Yeah, I agree because, man, you can't only have the ball 22 minutes and let the other team have the ball 37 minutes and think that your defense is going to be able to hold up all the time. The defense played remarkably well considering that they were on the field almost the whole damn game.
And they got to get a running game. I know they ended up finishing with 84 yards, but they only had like 50 yards rushing with like 4 minutes left in the game. Chubb got that 25-yard touchdown run or whatever, and made the numbers look a lot better. But up till that one run, like they had basically no running game at all. Their offensive line, they got to figure out their offensive line. I think that's a lot of the problem. They're not getting a big push for the running game, and they're not protecting Stroud very well right now.
Jay, your take on the game?
Yeah, I think both teams played incredible defense. I think that's why you see even Bucky Irvin didn't crack 60, or no, he didn't crack 80. He got 71. I mean, it was a tough defensive game all the way around. The problem with Houston is they miss Mixon. You know, Chubb is a great goal line guy. He's a great, trying to get a first down when you got, a couple of yards, whatever the case is. But he's not an every down back. You know that since Chubb had that injury, he has not been the same since. And so, he's a great thunder, but they need a lightning, and I think that's where they're missing Mixon. I think him not having Mixon there really hurt their run game, which obviously when you hurt the run game, you're going to hurt the passing game because it's going to get affected, right? You're going to be more targeted on the wide receivers, not so much so on the running game. So, I mean, I think that was one of the biggest things. I still feel like them not having Bobby Slovic there as their offensive coordinator, in my mind, is still kind of an issue. I just think when he was there, the offense was a lot more fluid. I still don't like the fact that Dalton Schultz is only getting 2 catches a game for like 24 yards. I felt like, especially in the red zone where they were, I want to say it was like 0 for 3 in the red zone or something like that. Let me pull that up real quick. So they were 0 for 2 in the red zone, 0 for 1 on 4th down, 2 for 9 on 3rd down. I mean, that's not going to get it done. In 22 minutes, I mean, there's a lot of 3 and outs that they went through. And I think that's just from a lack of they're not having that run game to open up the offense.
And Jay, CJ Stroud wasn't very accurate last night. He missed some throws as well.
I wonder if that was I only caught bits and pieces of it because my yesterday was crazy. For other day was crazy for me. So the pieces that I did catch, it looked like to me like maybe. Do you think that it was him not throwing it, or were they not going to the right spots? Because some of those throws that he was doing did look uncharacteristic.
Well, the ones I was talking about was he missed a couple high.
I
had a guy open it, and it was a little too high. But I do agree. I think there was at least one where him and the receiver went on the same page. But there was a couple that he just flat ball sailed on him, and you usually don't see that from him as that much.
And I still feel like not having Tank Dell there is still kind of hurting him a little bit because Tank was a big guy that he often went to. Nico was kind of your deep threat. Tank was kind of your slot guy over the middle. I guess maybe that's where they're using Higgins at this point right now, but Higgins isn't Tank Dell, and I wonder if a little bit of that is affecting it. Again, Houston has some things, like you said, Gonzo. They have a lot of things to figure out on that offensive side of the ball. I think the biggest part would be getting Mixon back and see if that opens up the pass or the play offense a little bit more. Defensively, I think they're on point. And again, they went up against the Rams. They went up against the Bucks. These aren't slouch teams. I mean, these are very good teams that they're going up to, and it's not like they're getting blown out. I think they lost the Rams game by 1 possession, and they lost this game by a field goal. So I mean, it's not like this team is very much in it. They just have to correct a few things. But I really believe once they get Mixon back and you start adding that more effective run game in there, that's going to open up a lot of things for CJ, and I think it's going to take some of the pressure off of CJ. But again, these are things, that they're going to have to work through. I don't know when they're getting Mixon back. I haven't seen a timeline when they're supposed to get him back, but I think that's a start. That and like you said, Gonzo, he does have to get those passes down a little bit better. But yeah, and I don't want to tip my hat, man, to Baker, man. That's a tough son of a bitch, man. But at the same time, I'm tipping my hat. I'm also thinking to myself, Baker, I know you're that kind of quarterback. I know you want to go out there and ground and pound and do all those kinds of things. But, Bubba, do you realize if you go down with an injury, and it ain't too hard for him to get an injury, your body can only take so much. You go down with especially some of those hits. Dude, he was hitting them dudes like he was a running back. And I'm like, no, dude, slide for the love of God. Because if he goes down, Tampa goes down. Yeah. And if I'm the head coach of that team, I'm pulling Baker aside and saying, look, man, I love it. And I'm not trying to curtail any of your passion. But, Bubba, we got to get you to learn to slide rather than try to take a guy on to get. I know you want that couple of extra yards. But if you go down with injury, we're going to lose a hell of a lot more than just a couple of yards. We're probably going to lose the season. Right? I mean, we will lose the season. So it's almost kind of like, how do you tell an athlete that has that much passion about the game to curtail it a little bit or slide? It's, but you have to. At his position, you almost have to because you are the team. So that kind of that's the one thing that concerns me about Tampa is can Baker learn to slide and not take those hits that he's taking? I don't think he can last a full season the way he played that Texans game.
Yeah, he he took a beating. The dude's like I said, he's a tough dude. He'll play hurt. He's proved that before. But the problem is when you're hurt, how well can you play?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that pans out. Tampa Bay off to a good start, 2-0. Let's go to the next game, God. Let's go to the Chargers, who won 20-9 over the Raiders. Wasn't a real great game to watch. I watched quite a bit of it. Chargers had 306 total offense and total yards, 236 of it passing, so not a lot of rushing. The Raiders only had 218 total yards and 150 passing. So again, not very many running yards. But the big key there was 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions by the Raiders. So that was a big tell for that game, the 3 interceptions. So Chris, your takeaway from the Chargers game?
Chargers might have the best defense in the league. Their defense is nasty. I don't know how much is. I know, Dad, you said you watched a lot of that game, but I don't know how much Jay watched. But
No, I watched. I had Ashton Denty as my running back, so I was all about that game.
Chargers defense,
is
impressive. Their offense is impressive as well. Justin Herbert is. I'd say he's playing as good as any other quarterback in the NFL so far. The first 2 games, that dude has been on point both games so far. I know they didn't put up as many points last night as they did their first game, but I mean they would just go on these long drives. The first drive in that third quarter, they took like 8 or 9 minutes off the clock, just driving the ball down the field. Keenan Allen is showing everybody that he still has quite a bit left in the tank. He's had 2 good games to start the season. Quentin Johnston appears he learned how to catch the ball during the off season because that dude's been on fire this year. Last year he'd get open, but he just had so many drops, and so far this year he's not dropping.
You talking about Quentin Johnston?
Yeah. He's been impressive so far the first 2 games for the Chargers. Raiders they got to figure out their offensive line. Like Gino wasn't accurate last night. There were some throws he was throwing the ball high. Hell, he had a touch. Would have had a touchdown if he had just hit the guy with a kind of a bullet. Instead, he kind of tried to throw it deep or throw it high and float it over, or he'd had I think it was Bowers right there in the end zone for a touchdown. But yeah, Geno Smith didn't look real great, but like I said, the offensive line wasn't great. Ashton Genty's going to be good. He was impressive on some plays. And the Raiders have to figure out how to get Brock Bowers more involved. He has to be a more vocal point of that offense. But yeah, to me, the Chargers have been one of the more impressive teams so far to start the season out. I would say they've probably been them and the Bills probably to me are the 2 most impressive in the AFC so far. And then in the NFC, of course, you have Green Bay's been impressive, and then I still think the Rams are really good as well. So it's going to be a good, fun season to watch. But yeah, it wasn't the best game to watch last night, and I think the Raiders have a chance. They could be quite a bit better, but their defense has to improve. They were getting tore up, and especially over the middle with some short, like intermediate passes.
Yeah, the Chargers. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you, like, what is for people playing fantasy? What is your envisionment for Quentin Johnston? Is he a reliable fantasy start, or do you think he's borderline fantasy start?
Oh no! If I had him on my team, I'd start him.
Yeah, I was just curious.
He's turning into their number. He's basically starting to turn into their number one receiver. I mean, don't get me wrong, they got Ladd McConkey as well, but I mean, he's turning into their big play guy. And I think what's he have 2 or 3 touchdowns already?
I think he has 2. I know he had 1 last night. I think he had 1 the night before, or the game before, I should say. My question, here's my little spiel on it. I watched that game, and I really believe this Raiders organization is definitely heading in the right direction. I mean, Tom Brady is first year there. You can see the impact I think he's having on that team. I know the offensive coordinator has been picking Brady's brain about things and whatnot. So I think Brady has been a really good influence, and it doesn't hurt the fact that you have a really good coach in Pete Carroll that can develop and things like that. So I give this Raiders. I like the way they're doing it. I mean, they played competitive. They didn't win the game, but I felt like you said, Gonzo, the Chargers are probably one of the best teams in the AFC, if not the NFL. And the fact that they hung with them, I mean, I know they got it down by 11 points, but still, the fact that they made it, somewhat of a game, given the fact of, like you said, the offensive line, and given the fact that Ashton Jeanty is still making some rookie mistakes, I thought they did quite well. I think this team is going to get better, and I think they're going to tool up better as time goes on. Give it a couple more years, I think they're going to bring in some acquisitions, especially they're going to address the offensive line. I imagine they're going to address the defense as well. So I think they're in the right direction in terms of building up this franchise to make it competitive in that division. So I tip my hat to what the Raiders are doing over there and that organization is doing over there. Secondly, Ashton Jeanty, like you said, man, you see flashes of brilliance in him. You also see some stupid rookie mistakes in him. And one of the biggest mistakes I saw him make was on that one play when it was a run play, and he went to Geno Smith's right, and Geno turned left. And so I think, obviously Jeanty was supposed to go left, and he went right. And so obviously he didn't get the handoff, and it actually wound up being a loss on the play. Just silly stuff like not knowing which way to go in the run. Those are things he'll clean up. Those are things he'll get better at. But I felt like those were some of the things that were hurting them. The second time I saw him, and it wasn't really a rookie mistake, it just happened circumstance, was when he was going around the edge, and I think that guard bumped into him and knocked him down. Of course, the play was over at that point. So it was just little small things like that really kind of hurt their momentum in the drive. But again, a lot of that really goes to the Raiders. Like you said, the Raiders' offensive line. I don't know what game. Geno was running for his life most of the time. How many times do we see Geno get put where the pocket collapsed and he tries to scramble left and right? And you think, oh, man, he's getting sacked. And then he comes out and he goes to the baseline trying to make something happen, and he just couldn't make it happen. I mean, there was a lot of times where that pocket just wasn't there and it was just collapsing. So I take that game in stride. Even though that offensive line wasn't playing well, I still felt like the Raiders made it somewhat competitive given what they were working with. In terms of the Chargers, geez, man, they took a big loss on that defense. I don't know how long Khalil Mack is going to be out for, but the way it looked to me and the way that hand went, the way it wasn't supposed to go, that tells me that I think he's going to be out for a few months, at least 3. For healing purposes. I'm sure they'll probably I don't know what the severity of that is, but I know that he went in for imaging. He came out. They said he might come back. He didn't come back. And the next thing I see, he's got his whole thing sling wrapped all up. I think it was an elbow issue or something, but I think Khalil Mack's going to be done for at least 2 to 3 months. That defense, though, regardless, I still think that even without Khalil Mack, that defense still looks really nasty.
I think it was Tampa Bay. There was a player I seen a report on that man tore a pec. So he may be, he's going to probably be done for the season. One thing about the Chargers real quick, they only averaged giving up 17 points a game last year. And I think their defense is better this year. So they could be a very dangerous team if their offense can just get a little better. And I think it will.
I'll tell you what, when healthy, Derwin James might be the best defensive player.
Derwin James is crazy.
That dude is a beast. If you just watched that game last night and just watched him, you were entertained. Like, that dude's everywhere. He was the one. I know he didn't get the interception, but he caused that interception.
Yeah,
but with his defending the pass and deflecting it, like he was. And then you saw him take on a damn nose tackle later on. Like, the dude's just
and the thing about that is I know he's only a safety, but that dude reminds me a lot of Micah Parsons in the way that he's everywhere. Because that's how Micah is. When that play goes on, Micah is literally everywhere around that ball. He just a ball hawk. And I feel like the Derwin James is the same way. I feel like Derwin James is always around that ball.
Well, they line him up everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the same way they did Parsons. They line him up pretty much anywhere he wants to line up. They'll let him line up, and I think that's the way Derwin James is. They're not the exact same player, but they have similarities in their game in that respect.
Okay, guys. Unless you got something else on the NFL, tomorrow we'll be talking about NFL and who were the big players of the week? Who had great games, and any thoughts on any NFL teams and stuff? We'll talk about that tomorrow. But if you don't have anything else, we're going to move on to some boxing real quick. There's a big fight Saturday night in Las Vegas. 70,000 people end up being in attendance for this fight. There were Las Vegas Raiders play the football. Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Super fight. Pretty good fight. Chris, what do you think of the fight?
It was a good fight. It was actually a good night of fights. The undercard was pretty good as well. Co-main event surprised me a little bit because I thought Vargas Jr. Would look a little better than what he looked. The fight before that, I can't remember the two guys' names. That was an excellent fight. My only really complaint about the night was they drug the shit out way too fucking long. Like there's no reason that the fight should have been ending at 2:00 in the fucking morning, Eastern time. Like, the fight never started till 1, and the co-main event ended like at 12:35. And you had like a 40-minute break in between fights. I just hate when that's one thing I hate. Sometimes UFC does that as well a lot. I just hate how it's dragged out. But the fight itself, it was a good fight. But Crawford dominated most of that fight. He was too fast for Canelo, and Canelo's power didn't affect him. That was how Canelo was going to be able to win the fight, because Canelo's not a jabber. He's a guy, he likes to get in there and he's going to hit you with some shots and wear you out. And he wasn't able to do that to Crawford. Crawford was able to stay on the outside for the most part. And even when he got hit with some pretty good, especially some real good body shots. Canelo hit him with a lot of good body shots. Got a couple good shots to the head too, but for the most part, it was all Crawford. And Crawford made a big name for himself with that win.
Do you think
I missed that entire damn fight? I fell asleep by midnight. I was done. I woke up. It was like sunlight outside. I said, "Well, I guess I missed that fight." I said, "Well, I guess Gonzo will tell me about it." And it sounds like, from what you're saying, and it sounds like I think Canelo went in there to wear him out with his fist, but it sounds like he got wore out running around the ring trying to catch Crawford. Now, Crawford, is he undisputed at this point, or is there still a belt? He is undisputed.
Yeah.
And that's that's lightweight.
No,
well, he moved middleweight. He moved up
middleweight. Okay.
He moved up a couple weights.
He moved up two weight divisions, and Alvarez was the undisputed champion, and so now
that's crazy to move up 2 divisions and take the win, especially because you're putting on more weight like that, and you're able to maintain that level of speed.
I'll tell you what, though, he looked just as big. He looked just as big as Canelo. He didn't look like, when they two got in the ring, there wasn't a big, like, you couldn't notice a big size difference at all.
Right. How old is Canelo? He's in his 30s, ain't he?
He's 35. Crawford's actually older. Crawford's 37.
Yep.
Crawford's 37?
Yep. He just ain't had as many fights. I think he's had like 40 fights, where Canelo's had like almost 70.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a good fight. I enjoyed it. And Crawford hit Canelo with some big shots. Canelo's got a hell of a chin.
Oh yeah, Canelo has a good chin too. Like they both took some good shots, but neither one of them's ever been knocked down or knocked out. So
that fight went to decision, I'm assuming.
Yes. Yeah. I thought the judges had a little bit closer than I would have. I thought he won by about 4 or 5 rounds. A couple of the judges had him winning by 2 rounds. I think the other one might have been 3. I thought they was a little generous with Alvarez on a couple of rounds. That's just my opinion. But they were probably close rounds, so that happens.
So do you think then, if that's the case, do you think Canelo, I'm assuming since it went to decision like that, and there was a little bit of tightness in that, do you think I got to imagine there's going to be a rematch of that?
If Crawford wants to fight again, see, that's my question. Does he want to fight again? I don't know what other opponents are out there. This would probably be the biggest money fight. I mean, it just sold out 70,000 people in Las Vegas. They could go to Dallas and probably do there at Dallas Stadium and do just as well. I just don't know. Chris, do you think Crawford will fight again?
I don't know if he'll fight again, but if he does, I think it will be a rematch against Alvarez. They asked him, Max Kellerman asked him about it after the fight, and he didn't rule it out. He said, he goes, "I'm gonna talk to my team. We'll see what we think's best and everything."
Right.
But he didn't rule it out or anything. So there'd be a lot of money to be made if they did a rematch.
Yeah.
So
That's my point right there, Gonzo. Because here's this is why I'm asking that question. Because Canelo got the big purse. Didn't Canelo get like 150 million or some kind of crazy amount like that?
I think it was 150 or 200 million,
Right.
and Crawford got 50 million.
That's my point. I think and I'm not saying that 50 million is not a big number. 50 million is a
Yeah.
huge number, especially when you're in my position. That's even an enormous number. But I wonder if he wouldn't want to come back because you just got the title. So you know there's a big win or lose, you're going to get a huge payday out of that. I would. If I was him, I'd come back for one more fight, get that one big payday out of it, and then call it a good.
Yeah, because I think this fight was almost like 75-25. At the worst, it's going to be 50-50 this next time.
Right.
At the worst, if you don't demand even more, maybe 60-40 and you're the 60%. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if he comes back and fights him again because that's the big money fight.
I mean, that's it, right? Isn't that really the big thing? That's the big hook, right? Is if you want the money, you've got to do it as a champion so you get the big payout. And I just can't imagine that's what it's one of the perks, right? I think he would want to come back to get that one big fight, win or lose. I'm still going to walk away with that crap ton of money.
And a lot more people know who he is now than they did before this fight. And nothing against Crawford because he's a great fighter, and
Right.
a lot of people knew who he was, but now even more people do because he fought Canelo. So you're having all them people watch. Well, then since he won that fight, he was on McAfee's show yesterday. They showed him twice last night. They showed him once and then interviewed him during the football game last night. So I mean, over the last few days, a lot of people that aren't huge boxing fans and never heard of Terrence Crawford know who he is now.
Yeah, he lives in Nebraska.
Yeah, he's
That's why nobody knows who the hell he is. He out there freaking Nebraska.
Yeah.
Hey, he probably ain't nobody living out in Nebraska unless you out there for them tax benefits or that cheap land or cheap cost of living.
Is that where he's from, Chris? I think he may be from Nebraska.
I think he is. If I remember right, he is from Nebraska.
But he's a big Nebraska Cornhuskers fan. Football.
Well, that makes sense then, if he's from Nebraska. Because, I mean, nobody just goes and moves to Nebraska, especially big time, unless you're going to buy a ranch or something and you want it cost effective.
And there's a lot of people that would have watched this that probably normally wouldn't because it wasn't a pay-per-view. It's on Netflix. So you get a lot of people hearing about him and Canelo both because you could, if you're paying your $8 a month or whatever for Netflix, it was on Netflix.
Well, not just that. Over the last fucking month, if you turned on Netflix, that was the first thing you fucking saw was Crawford versus Canelo.
Not only that, any WWE show.
Yeah,
because the TKO owns WWE, so any WWE show, SmackDown, Raw, any of them, you seen an advertisement for that boxing match.
I'll tell you what, if I had Canelo's abilities and I could win a title fight and get that kind of money, you better damn well believe whether I want to take that fight for that big payday or not. Melody's gonna be up here in a heartbeat. You gonna take that fight?
Yeah.
You gonna take that fight? I mean, I just gotta imagine. I don't know if is he married? I'm assuming he's married. He got a family probably at 37. So
both of them got a few kids.
he don't need that big payday.
Chris, I don't know what you think. I don't know whatever Alvarez could do if Crawford's in shape and fights like that. I don't know how Alvarez could beat him.
His only shot was he would have to be more aggressive, and he'd be opening himself up to get hurt. But he would have to try to make it a ugly inside fight and get inside, keep going to the body like he was, and then. But he just went in because when he would get him like in the corner against the ropes, he was doing damage, but the problem was he couldn't do that often enough.
No, I couldn't keep him in there. Crawford
he would go in spurts. There were spurts he would be throwing punches, and then he would kind of, I don't want to say rest, but kind of rest a little bit, and then for him to win, he's going to basically have to be the aggressor, in my opinion, the whole time, and put Crawford more on defense for him to have a chance, and which is weird to say because Canelo's such a good counter puncher, but against Crawford, I think he has to be the aggressor and try to turn Crawford into more of a counter puncher.
It seems, and it also seems like he'd want to develop a jab to set up the counter, like more of a jabber to set up the counter.
He has a jab. He just
He just don't use it effectively.
He don't use his jab that much. He never has.
Right.
Like if you watch Canelo fight, he's never win one of them guys that uses a jab to set everything else up.
But that's what I'm saying. So if you were his trainer, would you be talking to him about, hey, we need to start using these jabs to set up that big counter that you got?
Yeah, but the only problem is when you have a guy that's fought 70-something fights, it's hard to change. It's hard.
No, that's my point. Like I know it's going to be hard because he's 35. It's hard. Old dogs don't like. But maybe if I was his trainer, I'd be like, hey, look, I know you fought this whole entire time, but hey, if you want to go to this next level, we're going to have to change up a few things.
I don't think he can beat Crawford boxing. He's going to have to beat him fighting. He's going to have to, like Chris said, he's going to have to get it down and dirty with him. And I just don't know if he'd have enough. I think he got to make a brawl. I mean, I think he has to do it from the start too, because he got behind. Because Crawford won the first 3 or 4 or 5 rounds, and so he got behind right away. I think that has to change too. I think he'd have to come out there and.
I gave Canelo the first round, but then Crawford won.
It was close.
And then after that, Crawford won like next 3, at least the next 3 at least. I think I had Canelo at 1 more, and then Crawford won like 3 or 4 more in a row. But in my mind,
that first round was real hard to judge because it was really close.
Yeah, neither guy done a whole lot. I just felt like Alvarez landed the more effective shots in that first round. He landed a couple bigger shots in that round. Not nothing to hurt him, but they were the more effective punches. Especially a couple to the body. But then the second round, Crawford came out and kind of got and started getting going. So it was, like I said, it was an entertaining fight. Other than it was just so damn late. I was tired, ready to lay down. But
well, guys, let's move on to some Major League Baseball. Some scores real quick. Not gonna give all the scores, but just give you some of the games. Won a ton of games yesterday. Some teams were off. The Reds got a victory, which they needed badly. 11-6 over the Cardinals. Astros got a win over Texas, a big win, 6-3. The Twins was all over the Yankees, 7-0. Toronto beat Tampa Bay 2-1. So the Yankees lost the game in the division there. The Arizona helped out the Reds a little bit. Well, not really, because both teams are right there. Defeated the Giants 8-1. And the Phillies beat the Dodgers 6-5 in extra innings. I actually watched the last couple innings of that game, and Philly pulled that out. So you guys know where we are on the division and stuff. Right now, Seattle is up a half game on the Astros in their division, and the Dodgers are up 2 on San Diego in their division. That's the only real divisions that are really close as far as division races. But the wild card, we got the Yankees up a game and a half. Boston's up a half game, and Houston's behind them 2 for that last spot as of right now. And Texas and Cleveland are 3 games back of Houston for the wild card. Let's see here. We got on the other side, we got the Mets in the wild card right now. The only teams close, the last wild card, and the only teams close to them are Arizona, a game and a half, Cincinnati, 2 games back, and San Francisco, 2 games back. So, Chris, what are we looking at with the Reds, and what are you thinking about maybe some of the other divisions?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a crazy-ass game last night, Reds and Cardinals. Scrappy game. Both teams kept throwing punches, and the other team kept countering coming back to the next step back, countering right back. It was because the Reds got up 3-0 real quick. I'm like, okay, this is a good way to start. And then it's 3-1. Then you look back and Reds are down 4-3, and then the Reds go up 5-4. Then they were up 6-5, and then they had a big 9th inning and ended up getting 11 runs. But no, it was a scrappy game. Reds been hitting the ball lately, and finally yesterday was turned into some doing it when we get guys on bases. Like I said, like over the weekend when we got swept by the Athletics, we were hitting the ball. But the problem was we'd get runners on base and wouldn't get them around. We stranded 17, 18 runners in one game. And that game we had 7 out of our 9 leadoff batters reach base. So and last night we got them runs. McLean had a few RBIs. Andujar So it's a big win, but we got to do it again tonight.
Yeah, they did.
Reds are in a good. We're in a good spot. We could have been in a better spot if we wouldn't have fucked up over the weekend. We're still in a good spot because we're 2 out. We just got to keep winning the series. You win the St. Louis series. We win these last few series. There's a good chance we're going to get it. Plus, we hold the tiebreakers over everybody. So if we tie with the Mets, we tie with the Padres, we tie with Arizona or the Giants. We the Reds own the tiebreakers with them because of the season series and stuff. So the Reds just have to win series, find ways to win series, and that was a good start. Good start last night there in St. Louis, and hopefully we can get the win tonight, win the series, and be trying to go for a sweep tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was a good victory. It's with the Giants playing the Dodgers. The Giants playing Arizona. It's kind of catch-22. So I don't know who you want to win or who to lose, because we're not going to be able to.
We usually want the Giants to win because Arizona's a game and a half back. You guys are and San Fran are 2 games back. Like Gonzo said, you own the tiebreaker, I believe, on that one. Correct?
Yeah.
So you want Arizona to win or Arizona to lose, so you can leapfrog them.
Yeah.
And then be in position for the Mets. I mean, the
Mets in Arizona, probably best for us to lose, and definitely root for Philadelphia over the Dodgers. So maybe San Diego will catch them.
It's like I was telling you earlier. You guys need a sweep. I really felt like that A's would have been the best time to get that sweep. I think that would have put you. I believe if you would have swept the A's, correct me from over the weekend, there was a point where San Fran actually leapfrogged the Mets. They were actually tied, but I guess they had a tiebreaker on them, and you guys were right in there. And then y'all lost that one game, and it put you back. I think if you would have swept the A's, I think you would have been able to capture that third wild card spot. But you have another opportunity, like Gonzo said. If you can get the sweep against St. Louis, it's going to be a little bit harder trying to get a sweep against them. But if you get that sweep against St. Louis, at some point, you got to get at least one sweep in there. I think it has to be one sweep. With the amount of games you have left and the tightness of everything, you almost have to take at least one sweep out of it.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Jay, what are you thinking about your Astros?
Man, we go back to what I said in the beginning. Sad as all hell, because I don't know how long Jordan is going to be, or even if he is going to come back at this point. Because they have not really released anything on the severity of his injury. He was, I get it, man. We're trying to get runs and things like that. I understand, but man, Alvarez is clumsy as hell. The dude's made of glass. The last thing I need this dude, and why? Can somebody please tell that man, if you know you're made of glass, slide. It's okay. Get your big ass down there and slide. Because I really believe if he would have slid into home versus trying to run by that catcher, he would have been fine. And we'd have been good to go. He would have got the run regardless. But if you watch it, he hits home plate and he hits it awkwardly, and his ankle goes like this. And so then he gets over to like the side of the bullpen or the batter where the railing is there behind home plate, and he's leaned up on. They have to help him down in the clubhouse, and I'm like, son of a bitch. I was like, every time I think we're, the Astros are, we're rounding back into form, we're getting healthy, we're playing September ball. It's just, I don't know. This is not the year for the Astros. Health wise, it is not the year because we are losing guys and getting guys. I will say this. Zach Cole, learn that name. Learn it and learn it well, because that dude is on fire. He went 3 for 5 in his major league debut, and the first at bat in that 3 of 5 was a home run. And then he comes back last night and he went 2 for 4. He's batting like almost 500 right now. Now, granted, he's only had 2 games in, but 3 games. He's 3 games in and he's batting. He's right at about 500. Between 400 and 500 is where he's at. But this kid, I don't know if it's just, because he's a new guy and they don't know him well. I don't know what, but he is just, he just sprung onto the scene and he's looking good. And he couldn't have come at a better time. At a better time when our offense has kind of been sluggish. And now that we've lost Jordan for God knows how long, we couldn't have got this guy at a better time. And I hope that he continues this through the postseason, because the way he's playing, Tony, I mean, it's incredible. It is freaking incredible, dude. What happened? Did we lose Dad?
Yeah, he had to go.
Oh, damn, I lost track of time. I did tell him to jump out. At first I was like, oh shit, we lost Tony.
I didn't realize what time it was, and then when he disappeared, I looked at the clock. I said, "Oh, okay."
No, wait. One thing about him, man. When you give him an order, he does it. Done. Not even a goodbye. Not even a wave. Just boop. That sounds like my ex-wife. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, man, Gonzo, we need help. The Astros need help, man. We took the first game from Texas. We go up against tonight. I forget who we have on the mound. I think we have who do we have on the mound tonight? I know it's some new kid. Let me look at it real quick. Yeah, so tonight we have Blue Ball. This kid came out of nowhere too, Gonzo. I don't know where they had this kid hidden, but he's got a 2.45 ERA, and he pitches nice. I mean, he's got a good changeup, a good fastball, good movement on his slider. Really good guy. He goes up against Kelly tonight, so we'll see how it turns out. But Gonzo, our division is so tight, man. I think Kansas City plays Seattle tonight. Kansas City's trying to get into the wild card. Seattle's trying to hold on to the wild card, or actually hold on to the division. I'm sorry, hold on to the division. But there's a lot of, I think between now and then, man, or between now and the 28th, these next 2 weeks are going to be incredible baseball being played, not only in your side of life, but also on the AL side as well. I mean, there's just a lot of that seems like that third spot on both sides of the conferences are just up for grabs.
Well, it's how it usually is most seasons around this time of year is when we start seeing the best baseball. So, like I said, hopefully our teams can pull it together here at the end. We'll see what happens. Reds have Abbott on the mound tonight, so I'm expecting another good start. Hopefully our bats are still hot like they were last night.
Who are the Mets playing tonight? Oh, Mets got the Padres. Yeah. That's good for you, Gonzo, because I'm pretty sure that Padres should win that series. With the way the Mets have been playing, I feel like especially since the Padres and the Dodgers are going at it in their own division, trying to see who gets the division, who gets the wild card. You know, I feel like this is your opportunity. I think if you can sweep St. Louis and they lose the series to the Padres, that might be your opening window right there. And if San Francisco can handle business against Arizona, I can see a situation where you guys could come out of that series either a half a game out or even in that third spot.
We'll see what happens. I'll be watching later here. I think we play around 8:00 tonight, so I'll be watching later.
Yeah, we got the 6:15, I think, start tonight. Yeah, I think we got the 6:15. Last week
it was 10:00 start times for us because we was out west, and fuck, I hate those games. So I watch about every game. So them 10:00 start times are late night.
Yeah, I mean, I almost say like where I'm at in the central time zone, it's perfect because if you get the East Coast games, it's not so late like where you are, you know, where you're going like midnight. I might go like 10 or 11. You'll go like you said, midnight 1 in some cases. So yeah, it's good to be in the central time zone when you're dealing with East and West Coast games.
Oh yeah.
So what do you think about? I want to ask. I didn't get a chance because I know Tony kind of switched over to boxing real quick, but I wanted to ask you guys what you thought about that Cincinnati situation with they brought in Clifford and they brought in Mike White to be backup to Browning. I'm not sure how that's all going to unfold.
Yeah, Browning's going to be their starter. They're bringing them guys in because they needed a backup because of Burrow being out. Browning's one of the better backup quarterbacks in the league. He's not. He played quite a bit for him last year and didn't do terrible. Like he wasn't the reason they were losing games last year. The reason they were losing games even when Burrow was out for a little bit.
Right.
was because the defense couldn't stop nobody. He came in, played pretty good that game, was able to get still get the win after Burrow got hurt. Yeah, they're not. I mean, they're not going to be near as good as they would be if they had Burrow. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but they could be in a lot worse situation than what they are, just because they do have a decent backup. They're not in like some of these teams that don't have a competent backup. They have a guy that's capable of winning some games. So we'll see how it goes for him.
Hey, my question is, so Burrow is out. They said what, a minimum of 3 months? Is that accurate? I think.
Yeah, I think they said like 3 months or something.
I mean, they won't get him back, Gonzo, until damn near playoff time. So that means Browning is going to have to carry the weight. I don't know if they can. There's no way. I just don't see the Bengals getting to the playoffs with getting Burrow back damn near at the end of the season. You know. So now I'm looking at, what do the Bengals look like next year? Because next year, Hendrickson is going to be up for contract again because they only gave him a 1 year. I almost got to figure. Do you think Hendrickson? I almost kind of feel like they're gonna lose him next year, or I think they would have gave him a multi-year deal.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I kind of think he'll end up somewhere else, but I don't know. I figured he would end up somewhere else this year.
Let me ask you this: Dallas just signed Jadeveon Clowney. I don't think it's going to be used all the time. I think he'll be in special situations, probably in certain packages or whatever. How effective? And I'm assuming they did that because we have pretty much zero pass rush. I don't really expect Clowney to really add much to that pass rush. Do you think he's going to add anything?
He'll help you. I think he'll help on third downs. They'll use him quite a bit on third downs. He also is pretty good at stopping the run on his way to the court, on his way to try to get the quarterback. So I think he'll. I'm not gonna say he's gonna have a big impact, but I think he'll do decent for the Cowboys.
Because I think the Cowboys are great at defending the run now. The problem is we have no pass rush, and so it really kills us on the passing game side of it. So I don't know. It is what it is. It's typical Cowboys. You never know. You just go into it with a hope and a prayer, and you come out with a bottle of liquor and depression. That's how I feel when I watch the Cowboys sometimes. That's a good thing or a bad thing. My wife's like, why you drink? I said, well, it's either me drink and keep myself medicated watching the Cowboys, or I rip the TV off the wall and throw it to deal with my anger issues. Which one would you prefer? Hey, that's what it feels like to be a Cowboys fan right now. It's rough, Gonzo. I will say this. I'm gonna give you an apology right here on the show. I gotta tell you, man, your Colts are looking pretty good. They're looking pretty good. I know we're only, a couple of weeks in, but Danny Dimes is looking good. Tyler Warren is looking good. Your defense is looking good. You had the first game, whatever. Miami, because I think Miami showed a lot of issues, but that Denver Broncos is a good team, and y'all handled them pretty good.
And what I was happy about with that was we were missing some of our better cornerbacks. Tre'Davious Ward didn't play because he was out, I think, because of a concussion. We had a couple pretty good defensive players out going into that Denver game as well. So to see some young guys step up as well. But no, we've been playing good. I mean, this is the best the Colts offense has looked in a while, especially since Steichen has been there. I think we've only punted the ball, or we haven't punted the ball yet. In the first two games, we haven't punted the ball, and we've only had like one drive that we haven't scored points on.
Man, that's pretty good if you have 0 punts. But that's only good if you're converting on 4th. Which obviously you guys are, considering you won those games, right? You guys got a pretty easy week, and so does the Texans for that matter. You guys got the Titans this week in Tennessee, and then Texas goes to Jacksonville. We got the Jaguars. I expect the Texans to beat the Jaguars. I expect the Colts to beat the Titans. Do you see any way? We're gonna talk about the Titans because I know you'll beat the Titans. But do you think that Texas should be able to handle Jacksonville pretty well?
I think it'll be a good game. I think Texans probably win, but being a division game, they're always usually pretty good games.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. I think it'll be an interesting game.
And I really do wonder if that lack of a run game is what does them in though against Jacksonville. You know, that's the only thing that kind of worries me about that Texas team is that run game. You know, so we shall see. I'm playing in that suicide league, and yeah, I'm contemplating. I might go with the Colts versus Tennessee on that one.
Tennessee has a good defense.
Yeah, I just don't believe in their offense worth a damn. I just
no. I mean, the Colts. If we play like we have the last 2 weeks, we should win the game.
I agree. Yeah, and then I'll tell you, I was telling somebody the other day. I wish I would have started golf. I wound up going with Daniels this week, but golf blew up on Chicago. That dude put up 33 points.
He was going to.
I know. I'm an idiot. What do you want me to say? I was kicking I got the win, so I'm not completely upset about it. But from a points perspective,
at least you got the win. At least you got the win, though.
Yeah, I mean, I beat Phil. His team's not all that great, so I don't put a whole lot of stock into that one. But I mean, I got 108 points, but I could have probably, if I would have played the right people this week, God, I'm so dumb. If I would have played the right people this week, I probably could have had about 120, 125 points.
I beat Frankie week 1, and then I beat Glenn this week.
Yeah, we got to keep Glenn out of it, man. That dude, he done had that title 2 consecutive years. It's time for a new champion.
He's just gonna be sending it right down the road, to me.
Hey, I'm the one that's gonna pay for the shipping on that shit. So that would be nice. I want to tell Glenn. I might just tell Glenn to hold on to that damn belt till the end of the season, and then just pay him to ship it to the next person. I think I might do that.
Oh, he wouldn't even have to ship it to me.
Well, no, that's my point. If pretty much if anybody out there, I just get, hey, just take this over and drop it off. I hope I win, damn it. But I don't know, man. My team has got some soft spots in it. So
Glenn lives about hour. Well, maybe an hour away.
Yeah. I saw where Glenn lives. He's in a nice little spot in town.
Yeah,
he got everything around that little apartment of his.
Yep, he lives about an hour south of us.
Man, I didn't even know we were going to stop in through that way. I was coming back. I picked up a friend of mine. I drove him back from from Michigan to here. And so I said, well, we're going to go by Indy. I said, I'll just stop by and say hi to Glenn as we keep on going through. But yeah, good dude. I love Glenn. It's a good dude. But yeah, man, I was looking at the slate of schedules today. Broncos, Chargers. I think that should be a good game. I'm curious to see how Bo Nix does against that tough defense.
Yeah. No. Yep.
Cowboys got the Bears. Hopefully, we'll do well at that game. Cardinals play the 49ers. I think I got their defense. I'm expecting great things out of that one. Let me ask you this: 49ers. So they got Brock Purdy out right now. Mac Brown is their one, right? Is it Mac Brown, right? Am I thinking right? Or Mac Jones?
Mac Jones.
I'm over saying Mac Brown like he's a Texas head coach former. My brain is messed up. But anyway, Max. There's too many Maxes. Yeah. So that Max, Mac Jones. Now that he's there, they got the win. How do you see the 49ers before Purdy comes back?
I think they'll be all right. Who they play this week? Cardinals?
They got the Cardinals. I don't expect them to get the win this week against that Cardinals team.
I think that's going to be a good game. I
Right.
do. I think it'll be a good game, and I think they'll have a chance to beat the Cardinals. Cardinals looked good the first half of last game, and then the second half they fell apart. But 49ers, Mac Jones is a capable quarterback. Is he Brock Purdy? I don't know. I don't believe he's as good as Brock Purdy, but we've seen Kyle Shanahan be able to win with about any quarterback that they put back there, be able to, especially the first couple games.
Right.
But we got to remember Jones was a number 3, number 4 overall pick when he first got
He was.
drafted. And he was
By
rookie.
the Patriots.
Hell, he was a Pro Bowler his rookie year. Had a real good rookie year. Took him to the playoffs. Then after that, he fell off there in New England. But I think some of that was because of off-field stuff that was going on because he wasn't happy with what they were doing with the coaching and stuff. And hell, they had a defensive coordinator and a special teams coach.
You know what I'm saying? What you possibly expect.
Now he's with the real good play caller too. So I think 49ers will be fine until they get Purdy back.
Yeah, I really think New England did Mac Jones a disservice when they lost Josh. He played so well under Josh McDaniel. You know, I mean, he played great. I mean, that first season, ask Frankie, when Mac Jones was there and everyone in the playoffs, everything was, you know, how he is about Drake May now and Tom Brady. He was exactly the same way about Mac Jones. And then when Josh McDaniels left, I think if they would have brought a good offensive coordinator, like a real offensive coordinator, Mac Jones probably would have been fine. But the fact that they went defense and all these odd, weird, whatever they were trying to do over there, I don't blame Mac Jones for being pissed. I'd be pissed too. I was like, is this what you're giving me to deal with? This is my career, and this is what you're giving me? I'd be pissed off if I was him too. And I think now that you see him over there in San Francisco and he got the win with San Fran, you know, he looks good. And I'm wondering if he continues to win these games. Like, God, what if they do beat the Cardinals? What if they do continue to do well? And then Brock Purdy tries to come back. If you're Shanahan, do you disrupt it and put Purdy in there, or do you keep riding the hot hand?
Yeah, I think they'll go back to Purdy.
Yeah. I think with what they have invested in him, I feel like they almost have to, right?
I think they'll go back to Purdy. But what Jones is doing is he's auditioning for every other team.
Oh, hell yeah, he is. Panthers. If Bryce Young don't get it figured out, maybe that might be a good spot. Or even New Orleans, Max and Kellen Moore. He might want to take a chance on that since he's juggling basically backups right now. So that might be even a good spot for him to land.
Especially with this trend of some of these quarterbacks going different places and turning their career around.
Right. Let me ask you this. Do you feel like the San Francisco 49ers window is closing?
I think they still are open maybe a couple more years.
Right. I just feel like that window is – I feel like when Debo left, you know, and when McCaffrey's injury status, you know, and Ayuk, you know, who for the last 2 years has been struggling to stay healthy a little bit. He's been missing games. I just feel like that window is getting narrower and narrower on those guys. You know.
I think they're gonna have a real good year this year. I really do. Their schedule's favorable as well.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to finish what? You think they'll finish second? I got to imagine the Rams are going to win that division. I don't know if there's a team over there strong enough to beat the Rams.
Yeah, I think they'll be right there. I have the Rams finishing ahead of them as long as the Rams stay healthy, especially Stafford.
Right. Yeah, no, the Rams are playing. That Kyron Williams is just playing great football over there for them guys. Like he's looking really. They have everything they need. They have a good defense, good coaching, good quarterback. You know, good weapons and the receiving side of it. Good running back. I mean, they have all the intangibles that they really win.
Rams was my preseason pick to be in the Super Bowl out of the NFC.
Yeah, I can almost see Rams and but the biggest thing for the Rams is they're going to have to go through Philly, and I wonder how that's going to play out when they go through. But I'm not exactly sold on Philly's secondary either.
They had Philly beat last year.
Yeah,
and kind of blew it there at the end.
Well, you know, Philly took a lot of losses in that secondary. You know, they drafted a bunch of linebackers. I mean, I think they drafted like two linebackers. You know, and they do have Quandale Mitchell over there. I don't want to and what's the other guy's name? Cooper DeJean. So I don't want to discount those guys. It's really the opposite side of the field in Jackson, which is where I think the Philly struggle is on him. And I think a lot of teams target Jackson a lot more because of that fact. So I'm curious to see how they address that as we get closer to postseason, or if they're able to get Jackson on where he needs to be. Should be interesting to see the least. I really hope Philly just gets killed. I can't stand Philadelphia. Seriously. Let me tell you how bad I hate Philadelphia. I would rather see New England win before Philadelphia. I'd rather deal with Frankie. If that tells you anything about how much I hate the Eagles. God, I hate the Eagles.
Well, man, you got anything else before we get
No,
out here
there's
for
a
a bit?
couple of things I want to talk about. I know Pops was on a mission, so I was gonna wait till the end. But no, that's all I got. Hey, I did want to say we're looking at doing the evening show. We're going to put at Monday and Friday. We'll start that next week. That way we start off on a fresh week. So Mondays and Fridays, we're gonna do that from 9 to 9:30 Central, 10 to 10:30 Eastern. It's just gonna be a little recap show or prediction show. So tune in on that. Other than that, make sure you give us a like and subscribe to Gonzo Sports Room and ESEN's YouTube pages.